Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Logic here with Hardknocktv. I'm about to sit down with my boy Nick Huff to discuss my third studio album, Everybody.
So the album ends,
Yeah.
and then there's a hidden track.
Hidden track.
I've seen that relationship grow over the years.
Yeah.
I know it's an important relationship to you.
Huge.
It's something we connected over, I think, in our first interview.
Yep.
Because I've been fortunate enough to talk to Cole over his career. Tell me a little bit about how that came to be and why it's very meaningful, I think, to your career and to you as a person.
Okay, so when I first came up, like, I was totally trying to be all these different rappers in the sense of like learning their style. And the biggest one was J. Cole. Loved J. Cole, obsessed over him. Like, J. Cole was in the Simba video in jeans and a white t-shirt. I'm in the Backpack video in jeans and a white t-shirt walking down alleyways and shit. Like, you know, they say, what is it? The like sincerest form of flattery is like imitation, you know? And like, it's a real thing. Young kid learning who he is, learning himself. That's why when I see these youngins like coming up, doing the Logic flows and the this and the that and all this other shit, I'm just like, yeah, fuck yeah, that's tight. Like, dope. Can't nobody do it like me. But like, no, it's a real thing. Like, can't nobody be Cole.
Right.
Can't nobody be Kanye. Nobody be Kendrick. Like, you're just you. You know, you be inspired. You can obviously take things from different people like we all have as artists and musicians. But you, at the end of the day, you're you. And that's why I'm so happy that on this album, more than anywhere, I've really found myself. I've said that on the last album, and I'll probably say it on the next, you know, but it's like, it's just every step that you take, you're leaving your own footprints. You know what I mean? You kind of veer off in those shoes or those prints you were trying to fill, and you kind of find yourself. So first time I ever met J. Cole in person was in No ID's house at his birthday parties. First time I came to LA, it was incredible. And this was like short hair Cole, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a minute. And I was never really extra like starstruck over people. Like, I was like, oh my God, like, that's Big Sean. Oh shit. Like, oh, this, that. But Cole, I was like, my A&R I was like, yo, you gotta introduce me to him. Like, you gotta introduce me to him because it's my fucking hero, man. It's my idol. My idol's right there in front of me. You gotta introduce me. And I go up to him and I'm like, oh, hey, what's up, brother? You know what I mean? I'm like, what's up, man? And he's like, oh, what's up, bro? And I'm like, my name's Logic, and I just signed a Def Jam, nigga. Like, you know, like in my mind, I'm like I'm serious, man. I'm trying to let him know, like, I'm not just a fan, you know what I mean? And he was so nice. He was the nicest. Him and Ebe was there, Ibrahim, and he was so nice, you know? He didn't know who the fuck I was, and Common was there and all these different people. He was just the nicest guy, man. And so, like, the next day, for whatever reason, he comes to the studio. And Chris, my manager, was outside, said he was talking to somebody. And he just hung the phone up on the person. Was like, hey, what's up, bro? I manage Logic. And Cole was like, oh, yeah, you know, kind of putting two together. He's like, he's actually in the studio right now. Because Cole was looking for Dion, No ID, but he wasn't there. So he's like, he's actually in the studio. And I'm just like chilling. And I'm in the studio and shit. And then the next thing I look over, and J. Cole walks in with Ibrahim. And I don't even think fucking he remembers this shit, right? But like, I remember. It's fun because I haven't thought about it. So to reminisce as like me now, it's really amazing. It makes me like know why like I love his music and appreciate him as a person. And so I'm like, oh my God, here's a fucking hilarious story that I hope he never watches this. So Six is freaking out too, because like, first of all, the whole reason me and Six are even working together is because 7-8 years ago, when Six was sending me beats, I was like, nah, whatever, going through them. And one of them had like that little like J. Cole like snare roll, which is really some ATLians like Outkast shit, but that little, you know, Simba, just that little, he would always put in that little snare roll. So like when Six had the snare roll, I was like, oh, you got the snare roll, dog. Like, let me get that, like, yo. And that's like literally how our whole relationship started, because of J. Cole snare roll. Snare Cole. So Six is over here like, oh my God, and we're freaking out, and I'm like, my heart's racing, and I'm like playing him all this shit, and I played him like Dead Presidents 3, and he was like, that's crazy, because I had a Dead Presidents 3, but I never put it out, and he's like, but bro, like, you killed it, like, you really did it justice, and I was like, oh my God. I was so excited. And I've never talked about this, so it's really cool now to talk about it, you know, because also the other thing is like, now that I'm at this place in my career, just where I am, it ain't like like the reason I think I've never talked about it before is because I didn't want to be the little homie in the public eye. But now I'm not. I am me. I'm Logic. I am Logic. You know. So it's really dope to be able to now say this. Like, oh my God. So anyway, long story short, this motherfucker Six sneaks a picture of J. Cole while we're in the studio, and I'm so glad the flash didn't go off, because that would have been annoying. And then afterwards, he like showed me, and I was like, "What the fuck? Send me that." And it was like, so anyway. So that's the first time like I met him, and he was just the nicest guy. So I just want to kind of put that out there. And then over the next few years, he was like, "Yeah, take my number down," and I'm like, "What?" Like in my mind, like that first time, he put his number, and he was just so nice. He was a nice person, and I think on the straight up, like real recognize real. But here's one thing. It was always like kind of an arm's length kind of thing. And even now, it's not like we're fucking best friends, but he's a nice guy. And, you know, through time, it's just relationships, you know, it grows. And he's very nice. I can hit him anytime. He'll pick up the phone. He's a great guy. But I know what that's like now, keeping people at arm's length, because if you go from arm's length to arm over the shoulder and you put your arm around them, you give them so much publicity, and people will, oh my God, so-and-so's with this and with that. And that's why I've had to like separate myself from certain people, because you don't really know them. You don't know, you know, and I hate to say this, and I'm not saying any names. Drake is a fucking prime example of a person who just loves others, wants to help others, and will like give people a look, and then people could just like talk shit about him afterwards. It's happened numerous times to him. I'm just using that as an example. Mm-hmm. And that's just a person who loves music and just wants to fuck with people. So it's like, I can understand why people like Cole, myself, and other people are a little weird to let people in their circle. You know, you don't know them. I don't fucking know you. You know what I mean? So he was always just very cool, but more cordial. And as time went by, we're running into each other at festivals and here and there. It's just always really awesome to just run into him and see him or text him or whatever.
I remember when you guys had a good conversation at Soundset too.
Yes.
You told me.
That was huge, man. He bought me a burger, bought me a hamburger, cheeseburger. Because I was like not trying, if anything, I think I almost seem standoffish to people sometimes, but it's because I want to give them their space. Because I know what that's like. So like, I saw Cole and I was like, oh shit, what's up, man? Because I didn't get to see him at the actual thing. And I went up and then I came down to try to find some food. And there he is. He's standing in the lobby with Ibrahim and all the homies. So I'm like, what's up? And he's like, oh shit, what's good? He's like, pull up a chair. And I'm like, oh shit, thanks, man. Like, but I'm not trying to, you know, he's like, yeah, no, don't worry, it's all good. And I was like, I was just gonna get something to eat. He's like, oh, eat with us, it's fine. And he like picked up the check, and like, it was just really sweet of him, you know? And then so we kept in touch since then, and because I'm not gonna get into like the super personal shit, but I just want to paint the picture so people understand how important this is to me. Fast forward to a few months ago, so before the album was finished, and I work on Take It Back, and I say, hey man, I have a song for you that I think you could kill. In my mind, I'm really glad he didn't rap on it, actually, now thinking about it, because, and it just goes to show how wise he is. I thought that he could give me his perspective as a biracial person on the same record, but when he heard it, and I agree with him, especially now, he goes, that's your story. He's like, when I listened to that song, he was like, that is your story. And he was like, and it's a story I didn't know. And he's like, all the shit that you're saying on that record is crazy and fucked up. He's like, you know, the way you're talking about your mom and your dad and all this other shit. And he wasn't judging me. He was like, it's just real, and it's so raw and honest, and it's like, goddamn. And we had a conversation, and I won't get too much into the conversation because that's a very personal, great thing for just me, you know? And, but the conversation was about acceptance. And it was about accepting yourself and realizing that you don't need other people to accept you. That we as artists think like, oh, I'm going to write this thing and, you know, make them love me and this and that and da-da-da. But why you gotta make anybody else love you? What the fuck is that about? What does that really come down to, you know? And so we're trying to figure out, he's like, but I told him, I was like, okay. And I was very blunt and I was scared to, because I don't know, it was just, I just like, I respect him so much that I wouldn't want him to think I'm just trying to, like, he was like, oh, respectfully, like, yeah, but like, it doesn't feel right for me to rap on this. And then I have nothing else for him to rap on. And I was like, oh man, I really don't know what else. I was like, well, let me just be blunt and be like, would you be down to be on this album? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh. So I was like, okay, cool. Let's just try to make something, you know? And then he was like, long story short, he was like, I was very inspired by what you said to me on the phone, when we talked on the phone, and by the track that you sent me. And he's like, I wrote this thing, blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm going to lay it, whatever case may be. And then he's very busy. He's got a lot going on in his life. And he was just like, oh man, it just didn't sound right. And I know what that's like as an artist, to like write something and it feels good, whatever, but then you put it on wax and you actually record it. And it's just not where you want it. I could think it was fucking amazing, but if he doesn't or she doesn't or whoever, they're not happy with it, then they're not happy with it. So I let it go. And he had a lot going on and I didn't want to bug him. I didn't want to, what's up with the verse? What's up with this? What's up with that? So I just didn't talk about it anymore. And I just hit him to be like, how are you doing? You know, what's up? What's up? What are you doing? What's this? What's that? Just regular shit. And then, was it like a week ago? From this point, I was in Florida doing a festival. And he texts me at 4 o'clock in the morning, which is really funny because it shows his like mentality as an artist, because artists like be up at late night and doing shit. And he sends me a voice memo of what he wrote. And he texts me and he goes, I want you to know I wasn't bullshitting you. You know, I really did do this. Here's what I did that night. Just so you know. And that just goes to show how nice of a person he is, you know, because it really meant a lot for him to even just be like, I just want you to know I didn't like not do it, you know, whatever. And I listened to it and I'm like so emotional, like almost cried because, and this, I'll explain in a second. So I listened to it for like 2 days and I'm like, thank you, this is so beautiful. And I just leave it at that. Like, and this I totally feel comfortable talking about is I call him. I talk to all my friends about it and I'm like, this is perfect. I'm like, this is perfect. A voice memo of him rapping over this beat that he made in the background. And it's a letter to me. J. Cole wrote me a letter, you know, but it's not really J. Cole logic. It's like Jermaine Bobby, like for real. And I was like, what do I do? I really want it on here, but I don't want him to think that I'm trying to use him or utilize him to market it. And it's the same reason I'm waiting for this to come out after the fact. And like the same reason I didn't use his. So I call him, doesn't pick up. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Maybe it's a sign to just let it go. And he calls me back like 2 hours later. I'm in the car with my wife. And I'm like, hey, are you free? You got a moment? He's like, yeah. I'm like, how you doing? Because I always feel like it's very nice. You know, just ask how somebody's doing. Not just getting a shit. You know, how would I feel if somebody did that? And I go, man, I got something I got to say to you. And I just want to say it, okay? And I respect you as a man and a musician. And no matter what you say, that's fine. But if I don't say this, I'm going to live with regret. And he goes, damn. Like literally, he's like, oh shit. And I'm like, don't worry, it's not bad, you know. But I'm like, I have to tell you this. And I tell him, I say, you're the reason why I'm here, you know. You're the guy that was saying all the things and doing all the things that when I was a teenager, I wanted to do. You know, when the Come Up came out and I'm 19 years old and the Warm Up and all this other shit, I was like, I don't know if you realize this, man. I was like, but you were rapping to me. You know, Simba, grown Simba, all this, go out there, get it, do it for yourself, follow your dreams, be who you are, be you, go and do it. Bro, I was a teenager and you were telling me to go do it, and I am the product of the kid you were telling to go be a rap star or be whatever he wanted to be. I did it. And he was like, bruh. Like when I said that, he was like, oh my God. And I'm going to be honest. We appreciate and we value as artists fans. But when you meet 1 million fans in a row and they go, you changed my life, you did this, and it's over and over and over, sometimes it's just a bit desensitizing. It's not that we don't appreciate it, it's just like, damn. So I think for him to get smacked in the face and realize that something he did 10 years ago or however really actually came back full circle, I said, bro, you are my Hove, you're my Jay-Z. I waited outside for you. You're the only rap concert I've ever been to. I told him this, ever, to this day, I've only been to a J. Cole concert that I went to, that I wanted to go see. And when I told him that, he was like, bro, this is crazy. I was like, you don't understand what you wrote. I was like, it could make me emotional right now. I was like, I'm trying to keep it together. It is beautiful, it is poetic, and it is just what I needed as a man. And I'm gonna be honest, you can say no, of course, no problem. But I believe that this is perfect. Just like this, not on the record, not me and you, but this. And I was like, and this ain't about the public, and this isn't about, trying to milk it and do all this other shit and all this, like, I'm not going to tell anybody this shit like this, you know what I mean? Because this is like, I only know the diehard fans are going to see this, and that's who it's for, you know what I mean? And obviously your community, but I'm saying, like, I was like, I'm not going to put your name on it. I'm not going to market you. I'm going to make it a secret, because this is about us. And I need you to know that this is so full circle for me. And I was like, so I'm just going to ask, like, would you please let me use it? And he goes, fuck you. No, I'm just kidding. no, he goes, well, what I'm going to say? No? He says, after a speech like that, what the fuck I'm going to say? No, you know? And he's like, man, and he just told me, he was like, I see it. He's like, I see how much this means to you and what it means for you. And he was like, of course. He's like, of course you can. And I almost cried. I'm gonna be real. Your idol, my idol. You know what I mean? This motherfucker, like, wrote me a letter. He was writing to anonymous people on the warm-up and Friday Night Lights. And but today he was writing to me. And he's saying, fuck all this black and white shit and be who you are, identify as a star. You know, these people don't realize, and this and that, and everything you went through. And I'm like, yo, this is my idol telling me everything. This is my idol accepting me. And that's what the song is called. It's called Acceptance. The secret track is called Acceptance. So, like, he's the only one who matters. You know, you're the only one who matters. I'm the only one who matters. The people in my personal life, the people who mean something to me, are the only real people I need to be accepted by. And first and foremost, the only person I need to be accepted by is myself. That's a real thing. And something we still all struggle with. But, like, he said that to me, and I couldn't believe it, man. And I hung up the phone when I thanked him. I thanked him so much and let him know how much it really meant to me, you know. So it worked out, and I hung up, and my wife's crying. Because, like, she didn't even fucking, like, know about J. Cole or any of that shit.
She's how excited you are.
Yeah. So and I was so excited. Did she send you that video of me? And I'm all like in the car, and I was like, couldn't contain myself because I was so excited. And it was one of the best days of my life. You know, and a lot of people say that. Like, I hear, oh, this is the best day of my life, Logic concert or this or that. And it's like, yeah, okay, whatever. But, like, it was the best day of my life, man. Because it let me know something. It's like, I did it. Like, I did it. And not for any other. I was at a level where my idol felt, and this is a real thing, like, it ain't like, oh, doing a joint with, like, somebody on a come up and he's getting a look or this or that. It's like, nah, man, this person, this elite motherfucker in rap fucks with me on a technical level and a personal level so much. A person I idolize, that he's willing to stand next to me in what I believe in and what I'm trying to say. And so that's why it was like one of the best days of my life. I couldn't sleep. I was so excited. I would fall asleep, wake up 3 a.m. and think, oh my God, J. Cole's on my album. And I'm serious. And I haven't thought about that felt that way since, like, I was a kid. Oh my God, it's Christmas. You know what I mean? Like that feeling, oh shit, it's Christmas. Oh, it's my birthday today. Like, I hadn't felt that in a long time, you know, excluding, like, my wedding day. Fucking best day of my life, you know. But, so, you know, I just want people to know that, like, J. Cole is such an amazing person. He's a good guy. And he really made a dream come true for me. And I just respect him so much and really have a lot of love for him as a man. And I just want people to know out there, like, not trying to sound any type of way, man, dreams really do come true. And if you work hard and you just be you, the people you love and care about and respect, they'll fuck with you as long as they're real too. Sometimes you find out they ain't that real and they kind of fuck boys. But J. Cole, he's tight.